All right, I think I'm live. Good afternoon. I'm going to start with just showing you some of the things that I just recently got and purchased while we're waiting for people to come in. Um, I put a link for my book from Amazon that I'm going to use today. I also put a Google link if you wanted to order any of the papers when I do the flash sale. So those will both be there. So the first thing is I got this stamp set. It's just different rulers, and it's by Elizabeth Craft Design. It's CS 357 measurements, and I got this on scrapbook.com. And then I got some. I'm gonna use this to. I got this is an older set of Tim Holtz stamps that I just got. It's faded type, and it's the same as what's used in the tissue. So I wanted it so that I could use it like that. And then I got 3 of his new ones. I got the tidbits, and this um, I'm going to stamp and then cut up. Typically, is my plan for it. And then I got, hi, Beth. And then I got French Garden. And again, this is the images from the tissue, and I really like this tissue. I think the tissue is going to be discontinued. I think the scale is a little bit different, but I'm not sure. So I got that set. And then the last set I just got today is the Deconstructed. It's the one with the typewriter that Colleen keeps talking about. I just decided that I'd ordered the other 2 and then decided, oh, I want this one. So I went ahead and went back in and ordered this one too. And then the last thing I got is I got this set of brayers that are like a 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and I'll use those next week. Hi, Rosemary. So that's what I got just recently. And what I did with some of the stamps is I stamped them on tissue using, this is a combination of blue and brown, but mostly blue. And these are, I did the blue on there and then added the brown. So I'll use that's on tissue. I did the rulers so that I'd have those if I wanted to use them on the project for today. I also stamped some of the tidbits on some scrap paper that I had. I already cut some of them off. This one I stamped on the back and then realized that, so I stamped on both sides. So I could use either side. And then this was just a piece of scrap white paper. So those are all ready. Then I also stamped the florals in case I wanted to cut those out and use those. Have you? Yeah, that's a good book, Beth. That's a good book. So I'm going to do a project out of my book. I put the link at the top and in the description of the video. And I also put the link for the paper sale. So the book that I wrote is on Collage, and it's got a lot of color photos in it. It's available either paper copy, or you can get a Kindle ebook. So I talked about tools and supplies. I talked a lot about papers. I really like using tissue paper, and I like to use vintage paper. So I talked about where to source those. I do use some digital stuff that I bought. And I talked about color schemes and composition. And print scale and pattern and texture. And then my projects are not like step by step like you could do it because of the paper. You're not going to have the same papers, but it gives you an idea of different projects. So I just kind of walked through how I do it and gave some gallery samples. So I did a card, a couple canvases, paper piecing, art bags. But today what I was going to do was demonstrate how I do the collage clusters and then how I kind of make them into a card. So I'll start by showing you some of the ones that I have that I've done. And these are just done on a black cardstock, you know, the pre-made. You could use white or cream. I just did the black because I had them from a different project. This is the one I did for the book. But these are some of the other ones that I've done. And I just use scraps. And all of these are featured in the book also, in the gallery. Here's one I did in like pinks and grays. And this one's done in kind of pink and green. So that's what we're going to work on today. I put out 2 cards. I'll put some of my stuff out on the table. So I got 2 card blanks out for today. I figured we could do 2 cards. I pulled some ephemera. Some of it's from digital files that I've printed. Things that, you know, like this was a wrapper from a cigar. Paint chips. A little piece of Timmy tissue. This is just some other tissue. A couple pieces of the acrylic lace that I've been making. Thank you, Beth. So I put those aside. All right, so what I have been doing all week, the last 2-3 weeks, I guess, is I have been making, I'm kind of trying to downsize and cull. And so I've been making some paper packs to put in my Etsy. So I'm going to use 2 of the 4x6 packages. So in these packages, I've been doing 15 pieces of scrapbook paper. What I started with is some jelly printed, and then I found papers that go with it. So this one's got like 5 jelly printed papers, and then there's like 10, and that's all in like the orange coral color. And then this set is all in like turquoise and green and neutrals. And again, it's got 5 pieces that have been jelly printed. And all the scrapbook paper, a lot of it's really vintage when I start thinking about it. And the other thing I have been doing, these are two pieces that I didn't use in the sets. I also did some sets that are 6x8. So I listed these in Etsy. These are $8 plus shipping, and these are $16. And both in a set, you get 15 pieces. But today, and after I'm done with the project, I'm going to have a flash sale if anybody's interested, and sell these discounted. So, but that's what I'm using is two of the sets. So I know that I want to use that and that. I know that I want to use that. Probably use this because I'm going to do 2 cards. So I might use that. I'm thinking I might use this on one. Like that'd be one card and this would be another card. I'll set this to the side. I think I'll add that in there, that in there. And I'm not going to use these pieces whole. Actually, I think I'll use this with this one right here. And I might use some of that. Okay, so those are the papers that I'm going to use from those 2 sets. When I start these cluster cards, I have been starting them with an index card. So I'm going to put this index card here. And all I've done is start with like maybe a background color. So I think I'm going to do some, I think I'm just going to give it first a coat of some off-white. And a little bit of yellow oxide. And I'm just kind of mixing those two so I can get kind of a nice like butterscotch color. And I'm going to start just by putting a coat of paint on it. All right, so that's good for that. And then I'm going to take and get a stencil. And I'm going to stencil it. I think I'm going to use the burnt umber. And a little bit of burnt sienna. I think I'm going to use this stencil right there. There's one possibility. or this one. I think I'm going to use this one because this is real linear, and I think I want something with a little more curves. And I'm just mixing these and using a makeup sponge. And a lot of this is going to get covered up because it's just a base that I start with. Okay. And then I think I'm going to go back to the cream with no other color in it. Different sponge. And I think I'm going to do another layer. And just turn and I need to get out more of my deco art traditions that I bought. I have some. I just haven't gotten out the new bottle yet because what I'm using here is real thin. All right. Seeing that tour, I'm not going to worry about that. Like I said, it's going to get covered up. I'm going to clean that off. All right. So I'm going to start with this one here. All right. So I know on this one, I just want to use a piece of it, a strip. And then I'll put this aside and use it on another piece later. I just cut 2 of those. All right, so I'm going to go to this little box. And I'm going to get a piece from an old recipe book out. I tend to like the vertical. I'm going to use this piece right here. as one of my main pieces, I think. Okay, one thing that I do find is you want to keep your card somewhere nearby so you can sort of build on your card. I'm actually going to switch. I like that yellow with this right here. Here, I'm going to shorten my base card. Okay, I like that. And I give myself permission to not use something. I'm going to tear a piece of this. I'm going to tear it. Okay. Set that aside. And I'll use these pieces, so I'm not too worried about what I tear up or cut up. All right, so I'm going to commit to this. Yeah, I like clusters. I use them a lot in my big canvases when I'm wanting accent pieces. But this is a great way to use up scraps. Okay. And I'm going to tuck that. It's got that little pop of red. Put that over there. So I'm going to get my card back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this base. I'm not gluing the edges yet. Just kind of gluing the center because I want to leave myself some options. So I'm going to put that up there. And then I think I'm going to probably go into some of the tidbits. I'll keep that. So I'm going to look for some little stuff. And as I see stuff I think I might use on that one, I'll throw it over to the side. This is just a little piece of leftover paint chip with a paper punch from before. Hi, Irma. Yeah, I still have two cats, Beth. I still have Tay Tay and Gibson. We were just figuring out the other day, they are 16 years old. I'm just looking for all the little tidbit pieces that are already cut out. And I kind of like this white or creamier side. For this one. I think that's a little dark. I also have some that I printed some little things that were digital. That's too white. I have paint chips in here. All right, so let's. Those are too dark. All right, these are like little vocabulary study cards that I had gotten in a sale. Kind of glue that down. All right, now I'm going to look at, see if I want anything from the tissue. The other thing I will sometimes check and see is if I have any stickers with like any phrases, like leftover, you know, like quotes. I've used most of the stuff on this one. All right, this one says, "You make me happy." Put that there. I want some of it, a circle. I want something down here. All right, I'm going to cut out just a piece of this tissue with some numbers. I'm going to add them to this little card because it just needs some more text in there. All right, I think I'm happy with that one. So what I'm going to do is just add little bits of glue where it's not secure. I try not to get a lot of glue on the black part of the card. Yeah, we were just figuring out the other day. We lost Fanny about a year and a half ago, I guess. A little over a year. All right, I'm just going to add some gel medium just over the tops and the edges. That'll help that tissue disappear. Anything that's not glued down, that'll help glue that down. Like I said, I'm not really going on the black area so much. If I do, I'll just wipe it off real quick so that I don't get a all right, so I'm going to call that one done. And I'll save all these little bits and pieces that I didn't use. I have a little plastic drawer set next to me, and I keep them like color coded. Okay. All right, so let's do the next one. Put that paint up. Paint up. Trying to clean up before I go to the next one, so that I don't have so much in my way. Okay, that's good for that. Okay. I don't think I'll use that. Okay, I'm gonna fussy cut. This paper has clusters on it. And I'm going to use some of that as my focal point. Okay, let's see. On this one, I'm going to start. I want to use this, so I'm going to use that there. I don't think I'm going to use this because it's too big. And if I use this, I'm just going to use a portion of it. Set that aside. And then I think I'll cut off like a shorter piece. So I'll set those aside to maybe use. I think I want a piece of this lace. Get rid of that. I don't think I want to use the flamingo. Definitely going to use that map. I stamped this. I may use that. I may fussy cut and use that. I may use some of that. There's a paint chip. Okay. So I'm gonna, that piece of map kind of fits right in there. So I think I'm gonna tuck that in there. Trim this. Hi, Devin. We're doing collage clusters and making cards. Okay. I'm going to use a piece of this. I'm going to tuck that there. I usually just pick one piece that I really like and start working off of that. And again, like I said, a lot of times the base gets completely covered up. That's going to be too big, so I'll save that. I think I want some of this, maybe even more than my base. You know what I mean? I'm gonna trim that. Let me get my card so I can sort of see where I'm sitting. Here, I'm gonna pull that back off and lower it even more. Let's put something interesting under that. Okay, that's more about food, so I think I'm going to not use that. I think I want this sticking out of there. I'm just about happy with that. Okay, I'm going to put that tucked under there. That may be what I want in the okay. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put more glue on the back of this. And I'm going to stagger that. I think I want that torn. And I think I need that a little shorter. So just trimming some of those pieces. Okay, that's pretty good. Get rid of that paper. So I'm not using that base. I'll just save it for another card. Put that up because I'm not using that. Not using that. Okay. I am going to use a little bit of this. Okay, I'm going to add that on there. But again, I'm just more or less gluing the center. So I have room to tuck if I want to tuck. Okay, I'll put that there. Don't know if I'm going to use that or not. Put those up. You know what? I think I'm going to take that off. And I'm not going to worry about that little tear because I'm going to use a piece. I think I'm going to use a piece of this lace. And I just tore it at the end so it's more. Yeah, I like that better. Just going to put some glue right there and tack it down. I don't think I want any more of the lace. I got something on the inside of the card. I had glue on my table that I thought I'd gotten up. I'll put a paper towel down. That'll help. I think that's too strong. I don't think I want to use that. Definitely not using the black paint chip. Let's see if we have anything here. Since she's kind of the focal point, I have this little thing. It says sweet little thing. And I'm going to put that right here. I'm going to tack that down. Got some glue here and there where it needs it. I think that one is done. And I still, like I said, have a whole lot from the paper pack that I could use to do several other projects. I am going to do another project next week with this and my 2 pieces that I messed up here. I'll save that for next week's project. Let's take a little bit. Again, I'm just going to take a little bit of the gel medium and hit the corners and the edges. I'll put a little more liberal on the faux lace. All right. And this will dry clear, so that's our second card. So like I said, they're super easy to do. I don't have the envelopes out yet. I have some for them. So that's just, like I said, that quick, 2 little cards. I started with a paper pack from my Etsy store, 2 paper packs and some ephemera that I had, scraps. Like I said, a lot of times you can just use a little index card for base or a piece of scrapbook paper. And what I do is I tend to collect stuff before I start that are in the same, like the colors that I want to use. And I'll put that stuff in a little basket and then pick through it. There's probably enough there to make 3 or 4 more cards. But like I said, I'm going to do a project next week. The stencil, the tissues that I stamped, this I keep all the time and use all the time. I just put it in a basket. I have a bunch of tissue. All right. So let me set those aside to dry. At the top of the stream, if you're interested, this is this is an author's copy. There won't be a gray bar on it. That's just on my copy because I ordered it before they were available on Amazon. But it's got really nice. I was really impressed by the quality of the color. There are 5 projects and it walks you through the basics of creating collage. The link for the book is at the top of the chat. I pinned it. I also have a link at the top of the chat and in the description for the Google form if you're interested in purchasing any of the paper packs. So what I'm going to do today is this. Let me get a piece of paper so I have something to write with, write on. I have a Sharpie. I just had it. Sorry. There we go. All right. So the 4x6 packs are normally $8, and that's 15 pieces. And about 3 to 5 are mono printed, and then there's scrapbook paper that goes with them. And then the 6x8 packs are normally $16 with, again, 15 pieces. And I know that there's 5 mono printed and 10 scrapbook on all of those. But today, if you're interested for the flash sale during the stream, I'll do the 4x6 at $5 and the 6x8 at $10. Shipping is going to be about $5, give or take. It depends, you know, what you purchase if you're interested. And I'll show you kind of how I broke it down. And they're all listed in my Etsy shop. The sale is only if you buy them on the stream. I use Mod Podge, but a lot of people like Liquitex and Golden Matte Medium. A lot of times I use the glue stick just lightly on the back to kind of tack it. And then I always add a layer of the matte medium. I go through this by the gallons. So I use the Mod Podge. Some people don't like it, but I always put a varnish on top of the final piece a lot of times. All right, so the packages that I have in the 6x8 is I have a pink set. This set is mixed brights and pastels. I use the mono printed papers to kind of decide what to put in the packet. Then this one is purples and pinks. Then this one, I use this top mono printed paper. So this is all like blues, reddish orange, and some neutrals. Then this set is pinks and teals. And again, I use that top paper to kind of help me decide. This one is pinks and teals in the package. This one is a blue mix, and there's some metallic in there. This one is another blue mix with some greens. Then this one has most of the mono printed papers are greens, but I threw in some pinks and yellows because some of the mono printed. And then I have this one is green, reds, and neutrals. And the last one is a teal mixture. So it's blues and teals. If there's anybody interested in, these are 6x8 paper packs. There are 5 mono printed and 10 scrapbook papers that match the mono prints and go with it. Sometimes I put in contrasting ones so you'd have like something that would pop. And normally on my Etsy, they're $16 a set, but today I'm going to sell them during the stream for $10. Can you? Yeah, I'll show you. I'm not going to open each one. So on this one, these are the 5 mono prints. This one might be missing a mono print. And then I added scrapbook papers. That coordinated and popped. With those. This one needs another piece of this one may have 16 pieces because I don't think it had 5. It didn't have 5 of the. So that's kind of how I set them up. And they're just assorted. All right, so put those up. Like I said, these are $10 during the stream, the flash sale. And they're also on my Etsy. I did not take individual pictures of all the papers. Then the other 4x6 is what I started with, and I have a lot, like a lot. Greens, peach and teal, or orange and teal, blues, teal and neutrals. And because I'm almost done with all the 4x6. These were just neutrals, a blue and neutral, pink and purple, pink set, purple and neutrals, purple sets, red and neutrals, peach, yellow, green, pink and teal, teals. These were dark monoprints with some bright papers, and I have 3 sets of those that are like more bright. And again, these are normally 8, and they're 5 today if anybody's interested. And they're all listed in Etsy. Like I said, there's not individual pictures for any of them, but I kind of just wanted to show them on the stream so people could get an idea of how to use them. And that's what I used today. Was I used 2 sets of the 4x6. That's where I got most of the papers, other than the little advertisement. But all of the scrapbook papers that I used today were from 2 of the 4x6 sets. And I still have 1 more set of the acrylic lace, but I haven't listed it yet. I got to make some more. I have 1 set of this left, and it's $5. If there's anybody that's interested, just let me know in the chat. If not, they will be on my Etsy at regular price. And the last thing I wanted to visit about is I got an email telling me that I could join the Maker's Place. Michael's has created a version. It's a very similar to Etsy. And I'll show you on my phone. The way that you get to it is you go to, on the Michael's app, it's down at the bottom. It says, you can't see it very well on the phone, but it says right here next to rewards, it says Maker's Place. And you can shop similar to you could on Etsy. I just started listing stuff. Now, the only thing I will say is you can find products on there and classes and how-tos. The only thing I will say is when I did a search, I got things like I put in hairs, like for bunnies. And I got things that some things I just didn't think. So like there's my listing. But it's new. It's like Etsy. I thought I'd try it since it was free. It works a little better. Its terms are better. What they do is they charge you a monthly or an annual fee. It's $110 a year. That's the part they gave me free. Then they don't charge to list. There's no listing fee. And on Etsy, those are 20 cents and you have to renew them. On this, you don't. And then it paid a better percentage, and there was like a referral. There was like a 2% referral. Like if you referred somebody to become a seller on the Maker's Place, there was, trying to remember all the terms. You got 6% back rewards on your purchases at Michael's that you could use. And the fee, the fee that you pay when somebody buys something was not that bad. It was a little higher than Etsy, but again, you are being charged. This is about $9 a month. So because that was free for me, that will make it better than Etsy for me if I get traffic. I didn't close my Etsy, but I went ahead and opened it and just started listing some things. I did mark down a whole lot of art. I marked like a lot because I have so much inventory that I marked down a substantial, some of it half off, just so I could start clearing out some stuff. But that's pretty much all I had for today. Thank you for hanging out. And like I said, next week I'm going to work on a project using these same papers. It is going to be inspired by a YouTube channel, and it's mixed media art by Trina. I think I spelled that right. Let me go find the link and I'll put the, let me find the link and I'll put the link in the chat. I know she posted. See if she posted anything today. Let me put it in here and do a search. There it is. Share, copy link. Now let me come back here. There's the link to her channel if you want to check it out. But she does some really cool stuff, and I thought I'd try some. She had given me some ideas that I really liked. She likes to use the medical tissue. She does kind of abstract landscapes. So I'm going to probably, like I said, work on that. I'm going to use my 5x7 jelly. Like I said, I'll use some of the scraps we had from today left over in my project. But I'm going to go ahead and sign off so we can get dinner. I'm sure Bob's ready to eat. And I will see you next Friday if I don't see you in somebody else's stream before then.